Disappointment continued for the men's side on Saturday as they took on Portland Hearts of Pine, falling by a score of 4-2. They tried to right the ship this afternoon in Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, Hannah Crum has been on a tear for Detroit City FC. 4 goals in the last 2 games. As Detroit City tries to keep up with AFC Ann Arbor, they have a game in hand and they take on Kalamazoo FC. And we're on the road again, covering DCFC 2, the UPSL side from Brighton today on Soccer Night in Detroit.
Darren Smith in stoppage time, of course. Hannah Crum has a chance at it. Hannah Crum again chips it and into the back of the net. Hannah Crum, Fox in the box.
At Keyworth Stadium, the women take on Kalamazoo FC. On the road at Highmark Stadium, the men take on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
We are not at Keyworth. We are not in Pittsburgh. We are actually at the Legacy Center here in Brighton tonight, covering the UPSL Detroit City FC 2 squad as they take on Detroit Metro FC in a UPSL Midwest East Division matchup here. And and like I said, no Steve tonight for Soccer Night in Detroit. He'll be doing the post-match on After Hours from Keyworth Stadium as the women take on Kalamazoo. And of course, as you know, the men take on Pittsburgh, a very huge match for the men tonight for Detroit City FC at Highmark Stadium. Like I said, a big day of soccer. I decided to cover the 2 team because, well, like I said, other than posts on Facebook and whatnot, they really haven't been given that much, how you could say love, but they've been doing well this year. 5-0-1 so far on the year for the 2 side. They are in currently right now second behind Detroit United in the Midwest East Division. Only 1 point behind them, as they've only drawn as opposed to the loss with Detroit City FC. So a lot of young talent on this squad of Detroit City FC 2, as it's made up of players that are pretty much, some of them college, some of them academy players and stuff like that. The future of Detroit City FC is on display here tonight in Brighton as I'll be, like I said, watching the 2 team and probably following the other 2 matches as well. So hope to get an interview later on with Coach Brad Dunwell to talk about the progress of the 2 team and the links to Detroit City FC's men's side. Speaking of the men's side, it's been let's just say a tough month for Detroit City FC on the men's side. 0 wins in the last month. Just come off a loss last Saturday in Portland. Frustrating loss. I wouldn't say a devastating loss, a frustrating loss, because Detroit City did not look good. I mean, despite what FOTMob tells you, 4 giveaways led to 4 goals, in which Detroit City ended up losing that Jägermeister Cup match to Portland Hearts of Pine by a score of 4-2, despite goals by Sebastian Guanzatti, his first of the year, his first in his Detroit City FC account, and Darren Smith's 10th in all competitions for Detroit City FC over in Portland. Now the boys are over in Pittsburgh, getting ready to take on another struggling squad that, Pittsburgh has been a struggling squad as of late themselves in the USL Championship, and they just came off a Jägermeister Cup loss of their own to Rhode Island FC, a 1-0 loss there. But the previous week, they defeated Rhode Island at Rhode Island by a score of 1-0. Other than that, losses to Philadelphia in the U.S. Open Cup, lost to Colorado Springs Switchbacks, and a draw with Lou City in their last 5 matchups. Currently, right now, Pittsburgh sits in 8th in the Eastern Conference with 11 points, thanks to and we'll go over this. We'll go over the last night's or last week's action as um, as well in the USL Championship. Thanks to the win last night, late in stoppage time by North Carolina FC, Detroit City is all alone in fifth place in the Eastern Conference with 17 points going into tonight's matchup. Now, a lot has been said about the struggles of Detroit City FC as of late. And is it internally? Is it something that can be fixed? One would say it remains to be seen right now. Last year, we had kind of had a little struggle too in the month of May. Going into the summer and all that stuff, where we lost consecutive games, had a lot of draws, and it was just, tough times for Detroit City. They managed to come back, found themselves in the third spot in the Eastern Conference, and then went into the playoffs to lose to the Tampa Bay Rowdies in the first round. So will Detroit City be able to turn this thing around? Well, they got a lot of good players to do it, as you know. Darren Smith, as I mentioned, 10 goals in all competitions, 7 right now in the USL Championship. You look to him to be the catalyst in this thing. One thing I have noticed, though, with Detroit City, though, in the last couple of weeks, the play at midfield and the play on the backside. Lot of giveaways, lots and lots of giveaways. 4 of them last week in Portland. Of course, there was another giveaway against Charleston a few weeks back in which it wasn't really a giveaway. It was just a missed assignment by Michael Bryant that led to a Cal Jennings go-ahead goal in that match. A couple weeks prior to that, you had a 2-0 lead down in Indianapolis against the Indy 11. You give away 2 goals by Elvis Amo. That ended up being in the 2-2 draw on that one. They take the early goal in the second half in Birmingham, end up losing the points on a set piece late in the match there. So it's not like what they were, say, like in the first couple months of the season, where even the fortitude came in, like in a game against Phoenix, in which they were down 2-0, come back, score 3 goals to win that match. So it's a different type of, like I said, it's a different type of vibe, and the vibe has not been good as of late for Detroit City. Other than that one blemish back in March against Lewis City, they did well, and just once the month of May hit, it was downhill from there, including that ugly 4-0 loss to the Chicago Fire down at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview for the U.S. Open Cup. Last 4 matches beyond that, as a 0-0 draw to Hartford Athletic, the 1-1 draw, as I mentioned, against Birmingham Legion, 3-1 loss to Charleston at home, and then of course the Jägermeister Cup loss against Portland last week. So Detroit's basically got to, let's just say, find a way to get back into, let's just say, the right frame of mind here tonight. Whether it's whether been through practice or been through training throughout the week, they got to get their minds set back in order to, let's just say, erase this slide that they're in. And there's some tough opponents coming up for Detroit City FC going forward as the month rolls along here. Looking at the matches upcoming for Detroit City, another game that's not going to be too easy either, against a very surprising Loudoun United team. They are in the top half of the playoff bracket right now, sitting in, I believe, as we're looking at the table as well, they're sitting in third behind New City right now in the Eastern Conference. Only 3 losses on the year for them, as Lou City remains the only team in the Eastern Conference that is undefeated. Top dog, as you know, Charleston Battery. But some tough matches coming up there. You got the Jägermeister Cup match coming up on the 28th against Hartford Athletic. That's not going to be an easy test. The 2 easy ones you think are going to be a little bit easy? Yeah, road trip to Oakland. That's probably going to be easy. But the next home match, the doubleheader at Keyworth Stadium, where we finish out the women's season with AFC Ann Arbor, they invite a Miami FC squad who's been, let's just say, knocking on the door on that playoff line. They've been doing surprisingly well this year. So, like I said, games aren't too easy to take in the championship nowadays. So, I mean, you look at it now, shall we say, it's going to be a tough road to hoe. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. You can catch the game tonight between the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Detroit City FC on the usual outlets. That is ESPN Plus, WKBD, CW50 or CW Detroit 50, and the CBS Detroit app or cbsdetroit.com. That's available throughout the state of Michigan. On to the women now. The women, as of late, have been doing fantastic. Let's just say that they have been doing outstanding, shall we say, in the USL W League's Great Lakes Division, as you know. And I'll tell you what, though, I mean, this is one squad that is, let's just say, they've been, well, I wouldn't say been tearing it up. That first game in Ann Arbor, a distant memory for them. We shall say that. Trying to bring up the standings here, a little bit slow here. Working off my phone, as you know. Okay, so right now they are sitting in the Great Lakes Division, 6 points behind AFC Ann Arbor in second place. They take on a Kalamazoo squad that's in third place with 6 points, 1.5 points per match. Detroit City has 1.75 points per match, as points per match are the tiebreaker in all the divisions in USLW. AFC Ann Arbor off today. So this is a game in hand for Detroit City FC as far as the women go. They win this match today, they get 3 points closer to AFC Ann Arbor, pending what could be a very, very exciting matchup on June 21st at Keyworth Stadium. But to get there, Detroit City has to win these games. And, of course, opportunity today with Kalamazoo FC. The one thing is with Detroit City FC on the women's side, as you know, has been the play of Hannah Crum as of late. Hannah Crum has been on fire. 4 goals in the last 2 games, 2 braces in a row, with helping in Detroit City's 2 victories in the year thus far, including that 6-0 drubbing against Union FC Macomb at Keyworth Stadium on a rainy night in Hamtramck, and last week's 2-0 victory over rivals Midwest United, in which she scored both those goals in that contest in the second half within 10 minutes of each other. So Hannah Crum has been on a tear as of late for Detroit City FC. And, the play, as I mentioned in an earlier soccer night in Detroit, or earlier after hours, I should say, play of Sophia Romine. Having her back in the lineup for Detroit City FC has been a godsend. Let's just put it that way, a godsend, because you didn't see the creativity, you didn't see the flow a lot in those first 2 games between AFC Ann Arbor and Union Macomb specifically. Oh, did I say Union FC Macomb was the 6-0? No, that was the Toledo Villa game. I'm sorry. That was the Toledo Villa game that it was 6-0, in which Detroit City just pummeled Toledo Villa. Toledo Villa is sitting last in the division right now. They have not earned a point yet in division play. But that Union FC Macomb game, that second game of the season, ended up being a 0-0 draw. A very tight struggle between both sides there. Detroit wasn't able to create much of anything, but they were able to create more offense in in their last 2 games. In fact, the one goal of Hannah Crum's, and you'll see it right here, that thing was an absolute banger from outside the box after a throw-in opportunity for Detroit City FC. And that was the second goal of the game in that matchup, and earned Detroit City the 3 points last Saturday at Keyworth. Like and as I mentioned, Sophia Romine has added an extra spice to that lineup. The other factor for Detroit City FC thus far has been the play of Allison Lapointe, the Central Michigan product, has come in, and she's had 3 consecutive clean sheets on her resume. Lapointe filling in the role for Gabby Shriver. Gabby Shriver, as you know, is out on maternity leave. But Allison Lapointe has been phenomenal in between the posts for Detroit City FC. And, what can I say? She has turned in some fantastic performances on the year thus far. And one of the top goalkeepers, I would argue, in the league as a whole right now. Definitely one of the top goalkeepers in the Great Lakes Division right now. But for Detroit City to win this game, just keep doing what you're doing. Play aggressively. Defend well, and they have been defending well. Besides the 2 goals that let's just say those 2 goals in Ann Arbor were pretty much weather aided that day. The ball was pretty lively in the air. I mean, once you got it up in the air, you never know where it was going to fall. Unfortunately for Detroit City that night, it ended in the back of their own net. Unfortunately, you can do as much as you can, but you can't do much about the weather, as they say. And unfortunately for Detroit City FC, that night in Ann Arbor, it was not the best thing to happen to them. But they have rebounded for that and rebounded very well tonight. So I should expect that should be I'll say one. It should be Kalamazoo. They've been playing. As far as the schedule go, as far as their resume goes so far, I mean, they lost their first match to Union FC Macomb, a 2-1 loss in Romeo, and then they handled Toledo Villa with a 3-1 victory out in down in Toledo. They have played their last 2 matches, however, at Mayor's Riverfront Park, a 3-2 loss to Midwest United in the Western Michigan rivalry there, and they just beat Villa rather handily last week, in their last outing, a 6-2 victory that happened on Wednesday night over at Mayor's Riverfront Park. And after this one, they have to travel to Ann Arbor to take on AFC Ann Arbor at Holloway Field. So they're on a road trip of their own right now, visiting both those sites before coming home for the return match on the 18th. So they get to play. It is not 3 games in a week, so they return a week later to Kalamazoo for that matchup that'll be coming up on June 18th. So Kalamazoo could have a say in the matter of who gets on the top spot in the Great Lakes Division, as you would assume. Hard to do this alone without my sidekick. Like I said, he's at Keyworth. He'll be with us for after hours tonight. Steve will be providing a recap of tonight's action from Keyworth Stadium. 7 o'clock kickoff for that one. I believe you can watch it on Sports Engine Play. It'll be available there. As far as CBS Detroit goes, we shall see how that transpires there. But you can. They did say the club did say the game will be on CBSDetroit.com at 7 o'clock as well. John, on the call for that one will be Jared Mackey and Sean Grogan for that matchup. So, like I said, 3 teams today. 3 teams today. Lots of soccer to go around. And I'll tell you one thing, though. We won't get sacked for winning a trophy if we manage to cover these 3 games in entirety. Sorry, Spurs. Needless to say, it is a busy day of soccer today, and of course, it's a busy time of year. The month of June is I'll tell you what, it is let's just say, the most wonderful month of the year. How is it? Well, it's our annual Pride Raiser. That's right. We celebrate Pride Month in a unique way in the world of soccer, and that is through Pride Raiser. Pride Raiser is helps um, LGBTQ charities throughout the country. Ours, of course, is the Ruth Ellis Center. We've been affiliated with them for the past several years, earning up to $250,000 for that organization, with locations in both Detroit and in Highland Park. Of course, the original location over in Highland Park. They just opened up the new facility over on Claremont there, right off of Woodward in Detroit. It's a bigger facility there. It houses disadvantaged and underprivileged LGBTQ youth, provides them with programs that help them along their way, and also provides them a place to stay, whether they've been, let's just say, disenfranchised from their home, and they need a place to stay. They also provide education and learning as far as job opportunities are concerned, and basic life skills. So it's been an organization that Detroit City, the Northern Guard supporters, and have been behind throughout the years. The Pride Raiser, as you know, is an effort that was taken shape between both the Chattahooligans and from Chattanooga FC and the Northern Guard supporters here in Detroit. It was a challenge competition. It was a friendly challenge competition to see which side could raise the most money for their organizations. Now it's become a nationwide project. Several hundreds, 100 plus SG groups throughout the nation are in this endeavor to help LGBTQ organizations throughout the country, and even in Canada as well. So what you could do here is, I've got a couple QR codes that are shown to you right here at the bottom of your screen, in which you can donate. You can pledge by goal. That is the original method, and for most, the preferred method of raising money for the Ruth Ellis Center. You can also give a one-time donation to the Ruth Ellis Center as well by scanning the QR code. Have those to the right of the screen there. That is for a one-time donation. The one on the left on the screen is for a pledge per goal. Right now, we're looking pretty good as far as the Pride Raiser goes right now. I don't have it with me, but we are over $1,000 per goal as far as pledges go, and every goal that is scored in every Detroit City match this month, home and away, not including the two team, obviously, but every men's and women's match will be added to the total. Every goal that's scored will be added to the total. We'll keep a goal count every night here on Soccer Night in Detroit, and we'll have the old tote board up, or the scoreboard is the old-fashioned Stroh's scoreboard. I kind of refab for this one, so you'll get to see the money raised for the Pride, or for Pride Raiser for the Ruth Ellis Center right there. So you'll be seeing that tote board for every match, and we'll be updating it every match during after hours, and of course pre-matches during Soccer Night in Detroit as well. The way you can get involved in Pride Raiser, prideraiser.org. That's not only for the Detroit City FC community. There's other organizations within the state of Michigan, as well as throughout the country, which you can pledge your have your pledge per goal provided. But to find out more on this, shall we say, worthy endeavor here, you go to prideraiser.org. All right. Okay. Since Steve's not here to provide the picks, shall we say, but he did manage to give me his. He's not here to provide his picks personally with me, but he did give me his picks for the matches today. So right now I'm not doing so hot. 9 points behind right now as far as that goes in the competition. I need to make up some ground here. So right now, yeah, Steve is running away with this thing as far as the picks go, and a big week last week with the 2 wins for Detroit City as far as the women go. I picked a draw against Midwest United reluctantly, and sure enough, ended up being a 2-0 victory for Detroit City. So that's where the gap is lying at this time. So anyway, off to the picks here. Steve has his prediction for the tonight's men's match. He thinks that Detroit City will come off their struggles and come away with a 2-0 victory in Pittsburgh. Well, we know Pittsburgh's been struggling as of late as well, and they just can't get it together. But Bob Lilly always seems to find a way. It's been documented. It's been known throughout the years. He finds a way to get himself into the top 8 or get himself a player shield or whatever it is. Bob Lilly always finds a way. It doesn't matter what players end up, showing up for Pittsburgh along the way. He always finds a way to get there. However, Detroit City's got to find a way to score or got to find a way to win. They need to find a way to win. Am I convinced at this time? Not from the form of the last few weeks. Goal scoring was at a premium for a little while, but it seems to be coming back. But the play they got to be more solidified defensively, got to be more solidified in the midfield, got to make those crisp passes, got to make those defensive stops. I mean, if you're playing from the back, you got to play well from the back, not give up too many opportunities. Pittsburgh can do that. And I'm going to say that this one's going to be a draw. I'm going to say 1-1 draw for this match. I think Pittsburgh finds a way to find it into the back of the net. I know Detroit City will find a way to find it in the back of the net as well. I'm going to say draw on that one. So as far as the women go, Steve is going with a 3-0 victory and keeping the clean sheet express going for one Allison Lapointe. I'm sure Hannah Crum's going to get we need to see some action. We need to see some offense from Miss Kayla Addison, but she's taking a step back a little bit. Let Hannah Crum do her thing, But he says 3-0. He didn't give me any. He didn't give me any prediction on who the goal scorers will be in that one, but I'm going to go. I mean, I'm not convinced too much on, just judging by the form of Kalamazoo FC that they're going to come out of Keyworth with the victory tonight. I'm going to say Allison keeps her streak alive. I'm going to go 4-0 again. I'm thinking Detroit City will come away with a 4-0 victory today. You cannot stop Hannah Crum. She might bag another couple. Hell, she might do a Hattie tonight. She might do that. But I'm going to say 4-0. I think Kayla Addison gets back on the board as well. I'd like to see Sophia Romine get one from the outside of the box again. It's nice to see those bangers last year, and she got one inside the box against Indy 11 in the Central Conference Championship game last year. But those are going to be my goal scorers for tonight at Keyworth Stadium. Obviously, we're going to cover all 3 matches on Soccer Night in Detroit after hours here from the Legacy Center. I'll be keeping an eye on all 3 games one way or another. Hope to get an interview, like I said, with Detroit City FC 2 coach Brad Dunwell after the game. We'll have that for you as well. Steve will have the recap from Keyworth Stadium. Hopefully he'll get an interview as well with one of the players from the match following the match. And of course, like I said, all a smorgasbord of soccer to give you today on this Saturday as the rare occasion when all 3 of Detroit City's teams are in action today. And like I said, I'm grateful to be here in Brighton covering the 2 team this evening. And like like I said, hopefully it'll be a good turnout, regardless of who populates the stands, whether it be Detroit City FC fans, of course, traveling here. I'm doing the Rover thing myself. It's not much of a rover for me. It's about 20 minutes away from where I live up in Fenton. But needless to say, we hope to have a good crowd tonight. Everything on After Hours, as you know. And don't forget, like I said, don't forget about Pride Raiser as well. Make those donations today to the Ruth Ellis Center, whether it be pledged by goal or a one-time donation. Until we meet again on After Hours, keep your feet in the ground. Keep reaching for the galaxy.